welcome to the Talk to Talk series where we focus on educating and also finding opportunities for students and also fresh graduates. And together with me today is ALKA, who is currently the Vice President of the Student Representative Council, also known as MPP in University Science Malaysia or Student Union in certain universities. So, hi ALKA, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi Jeremy.
Yep.
I'm ALKA, and as Jeremy mentioned, I'm the Vice President of the USM Student Council. I am a final year student in economics, graduating this year, hopefully. And I have been involved in student leadership since second year when I was your SMPP.
Yeah.
Under your supervision.
Yeah.
So Jeremy was an MPP before me 2 years ago. And then now I'm an MPP.
Yeah.
So this is my second term.
Interesting coincidence, right?
You inspired me.
Fingers crossed, I hope I did that. So I think that's a background that we had, right? So we were serving in different tenures, so we probably will be sharing different insights based on our batch. And probably there's no right and wrong. Different universities would have their own different kind of responsibilities and the way of them executing tasks. So today we're probably touching on the methodologies and some of the concepts when it comes to MPP itself. So first of all, I think everyone probably would ask, right, what MPP is?
To me at least, what MPP is we are the body that represents the voices of all the students. You have your clubs, right? You have your college kediaman or desa siswa. You have your anak negeri or states. And all these entities focus on different aspects. But MPP is the only one that focuses on everything as a whole. So that's why we tend to get invited to any of the administrative meetings in USM, because we're the only ones that have the power and authority by the constitution of the university to be involved.
I think it also boils back to, if you look into the discussion whole thing about AUKU, so MPP is one of the dominant entity in it, running as a student organization. And with that being said, right, I think probably everyone wonder, what are the key activities that we should be doing?
There's this misconception that MPPs should run program because we have a lot of organizations that can do that. The real task of MPPs is to be the voice of students in policy making for the university. For example, if you want to add a new bus, that's our job to lobby, to negotiate, and to find the data to support it. If you want a new cafe, for instance, we're involved in that to make sure that that cafe is beneficial to the students. So the role of MPP is more to be the student voice and to represent the students where students don't have the power to do it themselves.
So from my perspective, so I resonate a lot in terms of the execution of programs, because we tend to think that, you know, executing a program or organizing a program would be beneficial to students. But at the end of the day, right, if you think about it, like everyone could do the same responsibility. So what makes you so different as an MPP, which is something I think that many MPPs would find it as a boundary for them to overcome. And second of all, when it comes to policy making, probably we'll be touching a little bit later on, like how impactful would be the role of an MPP in changing the policy of a university, because it's really, really case to case. If you look to other universities, there are some very fiery conversations, for example, in University of Malaya, right? So when it falls back to US, the perspective on involvement of our students will be really much different. Big questions to you. Do you think MPP is just a big title on your resume?
I mean, it is on mine, but it isn't in general, right?
Yeah.
Because to be fair, not many people even know or care what an MPP is. I'm from Penang, so when people say MPP, they think Majlis Bandaraya Pulau or the city council and not, so that's sad. MPP is more of a service role, but only if you believe in it yourself. If not, it's just a place where you try to gain political mileage. And a lot of people who come into MPP tend to do that. They were like, okay, I want a career in politics. This is my stepping stone. And that is a wrong idea to have. Instead, your idea should be, if I won, people voted for me. I have an obligation to my voters to do the best for them.
Second, that specifically in terms of the service terms and also the commitment and the intention at the very beginning. Because I think at the end of the day, there is not a real check and balance system in MPP specifically. Because when you're elected, then you are elected. So there's no such thing as a big opposition that come against you, USM. So when you go to other universities, there will be like the government of the day and the opposition of the day, and that will serve as a check and balance system. But it doesn't really occur in USM, which is not a bad thing. It forms more of like a family occasion. After election itself, we will come in unity and to serve the students as a whole. Goes back to the first questions, right? Is MPP a big title? It is. But also my perspective when it comes to when you go for the job opportunities in the future, the HR probably will ask you like, what did you do when you're an MPP, right? If you are just saying that, oh, I organized, for example, a fun run. So how much different would it be as compared to you, for example, being a part of, for example, math society or like social society? So I think that really falls back to one of things is why you have joined and what you have done, and also ultimately what is your goal throughout your service terms.
I think bouncing off on that as well, we look at the impact that you generated,
Yep.
right? As an MPP, you have the power to impact the policy. So, for example, if for now you negotiated something and you got something in return, that's something that's more impactful than the title of vice president. For example, I helped 5,000 students by giving an extra bus, for example, right? But also we'll talk about the challenges later, about policy and delays that we have because MPPs are only for one term.
Correct. Let's directly hit on to that topic itself,
Let's do
right?
that.
So I think one of the things that before we talk about the policy sides, right? When it comes to the election of the MPP, there is a kind of like a major flaw. First years may come in, right? The freshmen would come into place. Then they might not know what you have done. Then how would they know that this person is credible enough to change the policy of the university? So in that perspective, what do you think would be a better methodology, a better way of us managing that expectation from the students?
So actually, right now, because of the whole AUKU modification, every university right now in Malaysia has to have the elections at the same time. 45 days since the starting of the semester.
Before itself.
Yeah, of the semester. So first semester, within 45 days, you have to have the election. The thing is this, we have to remember that at the end of the day, like any election, it's a popularity contest.
Correct.
It doesn't matter how good you are, how many great things you've done. If you're popular, you win. If you're not, you don't. Right? So we need to make the right people popular. Comes down because people don't know who you are.
Yep.
For a first year student, you might know those in PPSL, fine. You might give them your vote. But the second, third and fourth year students may not like that person. So it doesn't mean you will win. At the same time, just because you're attractive, you could have a lot of bad press around you. Attributes. And then the wrong person gets into power.
PPS is like the orientation team. That's the team of volunteers. And I think she's on one of the points, like we were quite blessed to be elected as like the top voted, but you probably are wondering like why we weren't the presidents, right? I think we probably want to touch on that a little bit, and we could probably going to touch a little bit about political literacy on campus as well. When Undi 18 happened, there were a lot of discussion on like whether certain political parties should be on campus, setting up like their little university party itself.